Life has a way of testing your patience at the worst possible times, doesn't it? You're stuck in traffic. A meeting runs over. Someone throws shade for no reason. And just like that, your whole day feels hijacked. It's exhausting, feeling like you're constantly reacting to things you didn't choose. You try to stay calm, but the world pulls you in 100 directions. Notifications buzzing, people arguing, expectations mounting. And in the middle of all that noise, it's easy to lose your center. But what if I told you that calm isn't something you chase, it's something you create from within. And that's where Stoicism comes in, not as some cold ancient philosophy, but as a way of living with power, peace, and emotional strength, even when everything around you is chaos. You don't need to run off to a monastery or meditate on a mountain. You just need a new way of seeing and responding. In this video, we're going to explore 10 powerful lessons from Stoicism that can help you stay calm, clear, and grounded, no matter what life throws your way. Simple shifts, small practices, huge impact. And by the end of this, you'll feel more equipped to face the day with less stress, more strength, and way more inner peace. Let's begin. Stoicism might sound like some dusty old idea from history class, but honestly, it's one of the most powerful tools you can use in your daily life. Because at its core, Stoicism isn't about being cold or emotionless. It's about being steady, calm, clear, even when things get messy around you. And let's be real, life gets messy all the time. You've got pressure from work, people testing your patience, bad news showing up without warning. But the Stoics weren't just sitting around writing quotes for Instagram. They were surviving exile, betrayal, disease, war, and heartbreak, and still finding a way to stay calm inside. That's not just impressive, it's inspiring. This video is here to bring you 10 of the most life-changing Stoic lessons, not as theories, but as practical mindset shifts, so you can stop spiraling and start responding with clarity. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you liked the video, so you can help me continue spreading knowledge. If you haven't subscribed yet, I highly recommend you do so and activate the bell, so you don't miss any future videos on Stoicism and self-improvement. And now, let's start with the first lesson. Something so simple but so often forgotten. You don't control the world, but you do control your mind. Lesson number 1. You control your mind, not the outside world. You wake up feeling good. The sun is shining. Maybe you've even had your coffee in peace. Then suddenly, someone cuts you off in traffic, or your boss sends an email that instantly puts you on edge. And just like that, the mood is gone. But here's what the Stoics understood, something most people still miss today. You don't control traffic, or rude people, or unexpected emails. What you do control is your mind, your thoughts, your response, your internal world. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor, by the way, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's not just a nice quote. That's a daily tool. Because when you remember that, you choose how to react. Everything changes. Let's say your friend cancels plans last minute. You could take it personally, spiral into feeling rejected, or even lash out. Or you could take a breath, remind yourself that their behavior is outside your control, and choose peace instead of panic. This isn't about being passive or suppressing emotion. It's about owning your inner world. So outside chaos doesn't hijack your calm, and the more you practice it, the stronger that skill becomes. Next time something frustrating happens, try this. Pause. Ask yourself, is this within my control? If it's not, let it go. If it is, act wisely. It's that simple and that powerful. Tell me in the comments, have you ever caught yourself trying to control something completely out of your hands? I'd love to hear your experience. Now that we've got this foundation, let's move to something even sneakier, the battle that happens entirely in your imagination. Lesson number 2, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. How many times have you stressed about something that never even happened? You imagine the worst, a breakup, a failure, a confrontation, and suddenly your body reacts like it's real. Your heart races and your stomach tightens. You can't sleep. But here's the thing, that it hasn't happened. It's just in your head. Seneca, one of the great Stoic minds, nailed it when he said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Think about that. Most of our pain doesn't come from real events. It comes from our minds running wild with what-ifs. Let me give you an example. A friend of mine once sent a risky text. You know the kind. Vulnerable, honest, probably written 3 times, and then silence. No reply for hours. Her mind started spinning. What if I said too much? Maybe I ruined everything. Should I apologize or pretend it never happened? She was spiraling over a reality that hadn't even unfolded yet when the reply finally came. It was kind, thoughtful, nothing to worry about. All that stress and all those mental loops and for nothing. Our brains are powerful, but they're also dramatic. The Stoics taught us to stay grounded in what is, not what we fear might be. Next, time your thoughts start racing. Pause. Ask yourself, is this happening or am I imagining it? Because your body doesn't know the difference between a real threat and an imagined one. But you do, once you stop and look clearly. This isn't about pretending bad things never happen. It's about not suffering them twice, first in fear and then in reality. The Stoics called this anticipatory anxiety, and they believed clarity was the cure. Clarity comes from slowing down, questioning your thoughts, and focusing only on what's real right now. So tell me in the comments, do you ever catch your brain spiraling into worst-case scenarios? What helps you bring yourself back? And now that we've looked at imagined problems, it's time for a lesson that brings things into sharp focus, because one day this all ends. Let's talk about the power of remembering that you will die. Lesson number 3. Memento mori. Remember you will die. Let's get real for a second. We're all going to die. Now I know that sounds heavy, maybe even uncomfortable, but for the Stoics, it wasn't something to fear. It was a reminder to live better. The phrase memento mori means, remember you will die. And before you scroll past that, stick with me. Because the point isn't to depress you, it's to free you. Most of us go through life like we have unlimited time. We put things off, hold grudges, stay stuck in jobs we hate, because we think there's always later. Later to say, I love you. Later to start the book. Later to change your life. But later isn't guaranteed. Seneca wrote, you act like mortals in all that you fear, and like immortals in all that you desire. Let that sink in. One of my most grounding memories was sitting beside my grandfather's hospital bed. We didn't talk about money or success or stress. We talked about moments, laughter, people we loved. He knew time was short, and somehow he was more present than I'd ever seen him. That's the gift of memento mori. It wakes you up. You stop sweating the small stuff. You start noticing the breeze, the way your coffee smells, the sound of someone laughing in the next room. You start living on purpose, not autopilot. So the next time something minor irritates you, ask yourself, if this were my last day, would this matter? That shift alone can calm your mind in an instant, and the beauty of it, remembering death, brings you back to life. Tell me in the comments, how would your day change if you truly remembered it could be your last? Because now, we're stepping into a mindset that takes this even deeper. What if you didn't just accept what life gives you? What if you learned to love it? That's where we go next, with one of the boldest Stoic ideas of all. Lesson number 4. Amor fati, love your fate. Life doesn't always go your way, and sometimes it doesn't even come close. You lose something, you get rejected, you fail hard, and in those moments it's tempting to ask, why me? But the Stoics offered a radically different approach, not just to accept what happens, but to love it. Amor fati, it means love of fate, not tolerate it, not endure it, but love it fully as if you had chosen it yourself. That's bold, I know, but it's also powerful. Let me tell you a story. A friend of mine got laid off unexpectedly. No warning, no backup plan, just gone. She was crushed, panicked, and angry, but 6 months later, she started her own thing. A small business she'd always dreamed about but never dared to try. It wasn't easy, but she told me something I'll never forget. That layoff was the best thing that ever happened to me. That's amor fati in action, seeing not just the pain, but the possibility inside the pain. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it." That's what you are, the fire. Whatever life throws at you, use it. Did you get your heart broken? Use it to grow closer to your values. Did you get rejected? Use it to sharpen your vision. Did you fall? Use it to rise with more clarity than ever before. Loving your fate isn't passive. It's fierce, it's brave, it's saying, even this will make me better, and it changes everything, because when you stop resisting life, you start moving with it. So let me ask you, has something bad ever turned out to be a blessing in disguise for you? Share your story in the comments. I'd love to hear it. And now that you've learned to embrace the twists in your path, let's talk about how to start the path with calm every single morning. Amor fati, it means love of fate, not tolerate it, not endure it, but love it and fully as if you had chosen it yourself. That's bold, I know, but it's also powerful. Let me tell you a story. A friend of mine got laid off unexpectedly. No warning, no backup plan, just gone. She was crushed, panicked, and angry, but 6 months later, she started her own thing. A small business she'd always dreamed about but never dared to try. It wasn't easy, but she told me something I'll never forget. That layoff was the best thing that ever happened to me. That's amor fati in action, seeing not just the pain, but the possibility inside the pain. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it." That's what you are, the fire. Whatever life throws at you, use it. Did you get your heart broken? Use it to grow closer to your values. Did you get rejected? Use it to sharpen your vision. Did you fall? Use it to rise with more clarity than ever before. Loving your fate isn't passive, It's fierce, it's brave, it's saying, even this will make me better. And it changes everything, because when you stop resisting life, you start moving with it. So let me ask you, has something bad ever turned out to be a blessing in disguise for you? Share your story in the comments. I'd love to hear it. And now that you've learned to embrace the twists in your path, let's talk about how to start the path with calm every single morning, because how you begin sets the tone for everything that follows. Lesson number 5. Control the morning, command the day. Let's be honest. Most people wake up and dive straight into chaos. The alarm goes off, they reach for their phone, check the news, scroll through messages, and boom, their brain is already fried before their feet even hit the floor. That's not starting your day, that's surviving it. But the Stoics, they did things differently. Marcus Aurelius, one of the busiest men in history, emperor of Rome, started his mornings in silence. He reflected, wrote, grounded himself before facing the world. Why? Because the moment you wake up, your mind is soft clay. Whatever you press into it, stress, fear, stillness, intention, it holds that shape all day long. So if you want to be calm when life gets loud, you've got to build that calm before the noise begins. Let me walk you through a simple Stoic-inspired morning ritual. First, silence. No phone, no screens, just breathe, even for 1 minute. Second, reflection. Ask yourself, what do I want from today, and how do I want to show up? Third, prepare. The Stoics believed in premeditatio malorum, imagining what could go wrong, not to stress, but to prepare emotionally. Someone might annoy me today, traffic could suck, plans might shift, and that's okay. I'll stay calm. Doing this doesn't take long, but the difference it makes? Huge. You stop reacting like a pinball and start responding like a mountain. Your mind becomes anchored, so even if the day throws fire at you, you don't burn. You focus, you choose, and maybe most importantly, you don't hand over your peace to the first person who texts you in all caps at 7 a.m. That's the gift of a controlled morning. And no, you don't need a perfect routine. Just a consistent moment of clarity to remind yourself who you are. So let me ask you, what's one thing you could add to your morning to feel more grounded and calm? Drop it in the comments and maybe inspire someone else too. Now, we've built the foundation. You've got clarity, you've got calm. So what happens when someone tests that calm? Let's talk about insults and how the Stoics handled them like absolute masters. Lesson number 6. Let insults bounce off. You people will talk. They'll judge, criticize, and throw shade, sometimes without even knowing you, and it stings, right? But here's the Stoic truth. You don't have to let their words define your mood or your day. Epictetus, one of the most grounded Stoics, said something simple but sharp. If someone tells you you're a donkey and you don't have hooves, don't take it personally. Okay, maybe not in those exact words, but you get the point. Most insults only land when we pick them up. Imagine this. You walk into a room feeling confident. Then someone makes a comment about your outfit or your work or the way you talk. In that split second, you have a choice. You can absorb it, replay it, let it gnaw at your self-esteem all day. Or you can pause and ask, is this true? And even if it is it mine to carry? Because most of the time, it's not about you, it's about them, their projection, their bad day, their unhealed stuff. Stoicism teaches you to put up an emotional filter, not to block out the world, but to decide what deserves space in your mind. And let's be honest, getting dragged into every petty comment? Exhausting. You don't need to clap back. You don't need to explain yourself. You can just shrug and stay centered. That's power. That's freedom. So tell me, have you ever let someone's words ruin your whole day? And looking back, was it really worth it? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's learn from each other's moments, because next we're talking about something just as freeing, letting go of the one thing that causes the most stress: attachment to outcomes. Lesson number 7, detach from outcomes. You can do everything right. Put in the work, say the right words, show up with full effort, and still not get the result you hoped for. That stings. But here's what the Stoics believed. The outcome isn't yours. What is yours is the action, the intention, the effort. Epictetus taught this again and again. Some things are up to us, and some things are not. Let's say you prepare for a job interview. You research, dress sharp, practice your answers, and you show up ready. But then you don't get it. The Stoic approach: you don't fall apart. You don't spiral into "I'm not good enough" mode. You tell yourself, "I did what I could. The rest was never mine to control." This mindset doesn't make you passive. It makes you calm. You still show up fully, but you let go of obsessing over the result. It's like planting a seed. You water it, give it sun, protect it from weeds. But whether it blooms, that's not your fight. The world doesn't owe you a specific outcome. But it does respond to consistency, clarity, and presence. And when you focus on what you control, your energy, your choices, your focus, you win. No matter what the scoreboard says, it's freedom, it's emotional strength, it's peace. So, let me ask you, what's one outcome you're stressing about right now that you might need to let go of? Share it in the comments. No judgment, just honesty. Because next, we're talking about the surprising strength in something that sounds so simple: silence. Lesson number 8. Silence is strength sometimes. The most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. In a world that constantly pushes you to react faster, louder now, silence becomes a superpower. The Stoics understood this deeply. They believed that a wise person listens more than they speak, and that choosing silence, especially in tense or emotional moments, isn't weakness. It's strength. Let me paint a picture. You're in a heated conversation. Someone throws a low blow, something meant to provoke you. You feel it, that fire building in your chest, the perfect comeback loading in your brain. But instead, you pause, you breathe, and you say nothing. You walk away or simply let the moment pass without feeding it. That's Stoicism in action. You didn't suppress your emotions. You mastered your response. There's a quiet confidence in not needing the last word, in not proving you're right, in knowing that your peace is more valuable than someone else's approval. And let's be honest, have you ever really felt better after snapping back? Usually, it just adds more fuel to the fire. The Stoics practiced this constantly, not out of fear, but out of freedom. They knew that silence gives you space to think, to observe, to choose your words instead of regretting them later. And when you speak from that place, people listen more, because silence, when chosen, is not emptiness, it's presence. So, have you ever stayed quiet when you really wanted to speak and felt stronger because of it? Drop your story in the comments. I'd love to hear how you handled it. And now, let's move to something a little deeper. A truth that's humbling, grounding, and often forgotten. Everything in your life is borrowed. Lesson number 9. Everything is borrowed. Take a moment and look around you. The people you love, the things you own, the place you live in, the time you have. Now here's a thought that might sting a little. None of it is truly yours, not permanently anyway. The Stoics believed everything in life is borrowed. Our relationships, our health, even our breath, it's all on loan, and one day, and whether we like it or not, it gets returned. Now, that's not meant to be depressing. It's meant to wake you up. Because when you see things as temporary, you stop taking them for granted. You hold them more gently and appreciate them more fully. Seneca once said, "He who receives a benefit with gratitude repays the first installment on his debt." Think about that, instead of clinging tightly. Stoicism teaches you to say, "I'm grateful for this, and I understand it won't last forever." That mindset, it frees you from fear and fills you with presence. You stop rushing past the little moments. You start noticing the way your dog greets you, the way sunlight hits your coffee mug, the way someone you love laughs when they're not trying. You realize this isn't forever, and that's what makes it beautiful. It's not about detachment in a cold, emotionless way. It's about loving fully, without needing to possess or control. So let me ask you something honest. Is there something or someone in your life right now you're appreciating more because you know it won't last forever? Let me know in the comments. And now, we've arrived at the final lesson, a message that ties them all together, especially when the world feels chaotic. Let's talk about becoming the calm in the storm. Lesson number 10. Be the calm in the storm. The world gets loud sometimes, and chaotic, unpredictable, overwhelming. You can't control the storm, but you can become the calm inside it. That's the Stoic ideal, not emotionless, not numb, but grounded, like a mountain that doesn't move no matter how fierce the wind gets. When people lose their tempers, you stay centered. When plans fall apart, you adapt with grace. When life throws fire, you respond with presence, not panic. This isn't something you're born with. It's a skill, one built, moment by moment, choice by choice, breath by breath. Imagine being in a crisis. People are shouting, running, trying to control everything, and you're the one who breathes, thinks, stands still while others shake. That's not luck, that's training, that's living by the Stoic mindset, where your peace doesn't depend on perfect conditions. It comes from within, from clarity, from not giving power to what's out of your hands. Marcus Aurelius called it being like the rock that the waves keep crashing over. It doesn't resist the water. It doesn't try to fight it. It simply remains. That's who you can become, not by avoiding hard moments, but by stepping into them with intention, with perspective, with presence. So let me ask you, what does being calm in the chaos mean to you personally? Leave your answer in the comments. I'd love to hear how you've practiced this in your life. And now that we've explored all 10 Stoic lessons, let's close with one final thought, a reminder to carry forward what matters and gently let go of what doesn't. So here we are. 10 Stoic lessons, each one simple yet life-changing, not complicated philosophies carved into stone, but timeless reminders to live better with more calm, more clarity, and more inner strength. Because the truth is, the world isn't going to slow down for you. There will always be stress, unexpected problems, people who test your patience, but what you carry inside, that's yours to shape. And every time you choose to pause, to reflect, to respond instead of react, you're training yourself to live like a Stoic, not just to survive life's chaos, but to move through it with grace. You've now got tools to help you stay grounded, To choose your thoughts, let go of outcomes, and be a rock when everything around you shakes. It won't be perfect, and it doesn't have to be. What matters is that you keep showing up, calm and steady, even when it's hard. And if you found value in this video, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss future insights on Stoicism and self-improvement. I appreciate you being here. Let me know in the comments which of these lessons hit home for you today and how you plan to apply it moving forward. Until next time, stay calm and carry the philosophy with you.